Hello and welcome everyone. On behalf of TES Reading Club, I once again welcome you all to another episode. This week we are doing Pygmalion Act 1. TES Reading Club is an initiative guided by Kalyani ma'am and taken by the students of TES to promote the reading of classics so that we get first hand information about the text and also get closer to the writers and their works. So I hope you all enjoyed this session. Over to you, Princey.
Pygmalion Act 1. Covent Garden at 11:15 p.m. Torrents of heavy summer rain, cab whistles blowing frantically in all directions, pedestrians running for shelter into the market and under the portico of St. Paul's Church, where there are already several people, among them a lady and her daughter in evening dress. They are all peering out gloomily at the rain, except one man with his back turned to the rest, who seems wholly preoccupied with a notebook in which he is writing busily. The church clock strikes the first quarter. The daughter, in the space between the central pillars, close to the one on her left.
I'm getting chilled to the bone. What can Freddy be doing all this time? He's been gone 20 minutes.
The mother, on her daughter's right.
Not so long, but he ought to have got us a cab by this.
A bystander, on the lady's right.
He won't get no cab until 11:30, missus, when they come back after dropping the theatre fares.
But we must have a cab. We can't stand here until 11:30. It's too bad.
Well, it ain't my fault, missus.
If Freddy had a bit of gumption, he would have got one at the theatre door.
What could he have done, poor boy?
Other people got cabs. Why couldn't he?
Freddy rushes in out of the rain from the Southampton Street side and comes between them, closing a dripping umbrella. He is a young man of 20, in evening dress, very wet around the ankles.
Well, haven't you got a cab?
There is not one to be had for love or money.
Oh, Freddy, there must be one. You can't have tried?
It's too tiresome. Do you expect us to go and get one ourselves?
I tell you, they are all engaged. The rain was so sudden. Nobody was prepared, and everybody had to take a cab. I have been to Charing Cross one way and near to Ludgate Circus the other, and they were all engaged.
Did you try Trafalgar Square?
There wasn't one at Trafalgar Square.
Did you try?
I tried as far as Charing Cross Station. Did you expect me to walk to Hammersmith?
You haven't tried at all.
You really are very helpless, Freddy. Go again and don't come back until you have found a cab.
I shall simply get soaked for nothing.
And what about us? Are we to stay here all night in this drought with next to nothing on? You selfish pig.
Oh, very well. I will go. I will go.
He opens his umbrella and dashes off Strand guards, but comes into collision with a flower girl, who is hurrying in for shelter, knocking her basket out of her hands. A blinding flash of lightning, followed instantly by a rattling peal of thunder, orchestrates the incident.
Nah, then, Teddy, look why growing there.
Sorry.
Freddy rushes off. The flower girl picking up her scattered flowers and replacing them in the basket.
There's There's madness here. Two bunches of violets trod into the mat.
The flower girl sits down on the plinth of the column, sorting her flowers on the lady's right. She is not at all an attractive person. She is perhaps 18, perhaps 20, hardly older. She wears a little sailor hat of black straw that has long been exposed to the dust and soot of London and has seldom, if ever, been brushed. Her hair needs washing rather badly. Its mousy color can hardly be natural. She wears a soddy She wears a soddy black coat that reaches nearly to her knees and is zipped to her waist. She has a brown skirt with a coarse apron. Her boots are much the worse for wear. She is no doubt as clean as she can afford to be, but compared to the ladies, she is very dirty. Her features are no worse than theirs, but their condition leaves something to be desired, and she needs the service of a dentist.
How do you know that my son's name is Freddie Pray?
Oh, is he your son? Is he? Well, put down your duty. Bombs a mother should. It now better to spoil a poor girl's flowers than run away at by friend. Will represent her. Will you pay for them?
Here, with apologies, this desperate attempt to represent her dialect without a phonetic alphabet must be abandoned as unintelligible outside London.
Do nothing of the sort, mother. The idea.
Please allow me, Clara. Have you any pennies?
No, I have nothing smaller than 6 pence.
The flower girl hopefully.
I can give you change for a tanner. Kind lady?
The mother to Clara.
Give it to me.
Clara parts reluctantly.
Now,
The mother to the girl.
this is for your flowers.
Thank you kindly. Lady,
Make her give you the change. These things are only a penny a bunch.
Do hold your tongue, Clara.
The mother to the flower girl.
You can keep the change.
oh, thank you, lady.
Now tell me how you know that young gentleman's name?
I didn't.
I heard you call him by it. Don't try to deceive me.
The flower girl protesting.
Who's trying to deceive you? I call them Freddy or Charlie, same as you might yourself if you was talking to a stranger and wish to be pleasant.
The flower girl sits down beside her basket.
Ah, oh.
Six
The daughter.
pence thrown away. Really, Mama? You might have spared Freddy that.
She retreats in disgust behind the pillar. An elderly gentleman of the amiable military type rushes into shelter and closes a dripping umbrella. He is in the same plight as Freddy, very wet about the ankles. He is in evening dress with a light overcoat. He takes the place left vacant by the daughter's retirement.
Phew.
The mother to the gentleman.
Oh, sir, is there any sign of it stopping?
I'm afraid not. It started worse than ever about 2 minutes ago.
The gentleman goes to the plinth beside the flower girl, puts up his foot on it, and stoops to turn down his trouser ends.
Oh dear.
The mother retires sadly and joins her daughter. The flower girl taking advantage of the military gentleman's proximity to establish friendly relations with him.
If it's worse, it's a sign it's nearly over. So cheer up, Captain, and buy a flower of a poor girl.
I'm sorry, I haven't any change.
I can give you change, Captain.
For a sovereign, I have nothing less.
Gone. Oh, do buy a flower of me, Captain. I can change half a crown. Take this for tuppence.
Now, don't be troublesome. There is a good girl. I really have. I really haven't any change. Stop. Here is 3 halfpence. If that is any use to you,
The gentleman retreats to the pillar. The flower girl, disappointed but thinking 3 halfpence better than nothing.
Thank you, sir.
The bystander to the girl.
You be careful. Give him a flower for it. There's a bloke here behind taking down every blessed word you are saying.
All turn to the man who is taking notes. The flower girl springing up terrified.
I ain't done nothing wrong by speaking to the gentleman. I have a right to sell flowers if I keep off the curb.
Hysterically.
I'm a respectable girl, so help me. I never spoke to him except to ask him to buy a flower of me.
General hubbub, mostly sympathetic to the flower girl but deprecating her excessive sensibility. Cries of don't start hollering, who is hurting you? Nobody is going to touch you, what's the good of fussing? Steady on, the easy, easy, etc. Come from the elderly staid spectators, who pat her comfortingly, less patent ones, bid her shut her head or ask her roughly what is wrong with her. A remoter group, not knowing what the matter is, crowd in and increase the noise with question and answer. What's the row? What's he do? Where is he? Taking her down? What? Him? Yes. Him over there? Took money of the gentleman? etc. The flower girl, distraught and mob, breaks through them to the gentleman, crying mildly.
Oh, sir, don't let him charge me. You don't know what it means to me. They'll take me away, my character, and drive me on the streets for speaking to gentlemen. They
The note taker coming forward on her right, the rest crowding after him.
There. Who's hurting you, you silly girl? What do you take me for? It's all right. He's a gentleman. Look at his boots.
Explaining to the note taker.
She thought you were a copper snack, sir.
The note taker with quick interest.
What's a copper snack?
The bystander inept at definition.
It's a copper snack, as you might say. What else would you call it? A sort of informer?
The flower girl is still hysterical.
I take my Bible oath. I never said a word.
The note taker overbearing but good humored.
Oh, shut up, shut up. Do I look like a policeman?
The flower girl far from reassured.
Then what did you take down my words for? How do I know whether you took my down right? You took me down right. You just show me what you have wrote about me.
The note taker opens his book and holds it steadily under her nose, though the pressure of the mob trying to read it over his shoulders would upset a weaker man.
What's that? That ain't proper writing. I can't read that.
I can.
Reads, reproducing her pronunciation exactly.
Cheer, Captain. And how you flaw off a poor girl.
The flower girl, much distressed.
It's because I called him captain. I mean, no arm.
To the gentleman.
Oh, sir, don't let him lay a charge against me for a word like that. You.
charge. I make no charge.
The gentleman to the note taker.
Really, sir, if you are a detective, you need not begin protecting me against molestation by young women until I ask you. Anybody could see that the girl meant no harm.
The bystanders generally, demonstrating against police espionage.
Course they could. What business is it of yours? You mind your own affairs. He wants promotion. He does. Taking down people's words. Girl never said a word to him. What harm if she did? Nice things a girl can't shelter from the rain without being insulted.
He ain't a tech. He's a blooming busybody. That's what he is.
Although I can't see.
Something went wrong.
Yeah, fine now. She is conducted by the most sympathetic demonstrators back to her plane, where she resumes her seat and struggles with her emotion. He ain't a tech. He's a blooming busybody. That's what he is. I tell you, look at his boots. The note taker turning on him genially.
And how are all your people down at the Chelsea?
The bystander suspiciously.
Who told you my people come from Chelsea?
Never you mind, they did.
The note taker to the girl.
How do you come to be up so far east? You were born in the Listen Group.
The flower girl appalled.
Oh, what harm is there in my leaving Listen Grove? It wasn't fit for a pig to live in, and I had to pay 4 and 6 a week. Oh, boo.
Live where you like, but stop that noise.
The gentleman to the girl.
Come, come. He can't touch you. You have a right to live where you please.
A sarcastic bystander thrusting himself between the note taker and the gentleman.
Park Lane. For instance, I would like to go into the housing question with you. I would.
The flower girl subsiding into a brooding melancholy over her basket and talking very low-spiritedly to herself.
I am a good girl, I am. I'm a good girl, I am.
Ritu, turn over the page, please.
We are sorry. We are still.
The sarcastic bystander not attending to her.
Do you know where I come from?
The note taker promptly.
Hoxton.
Tittering's popular interest in the note taker's performance increases. The sarcastic one amazed.
Well, who said I didn't? Blimey, you know everything you do.
The flower girl still nursing her sense of injury.
Ain't no call to meddle with me. He ain't.
The bystander to the flower girl.
Of course he ain't. Don't you stand it from him?
The bystander to the note taker.
See here. What call have you to know about people what never offered to meddle with you? Where's your warrant?
Several bystanders encouraged by the seeming point of law.
Yes,
Yes.
it's your
Where's your warrant?
Let him say what he likes. I don't want to have no track with him.
You take us for dirt under your feet, don't you? Catch you taking liberties with a gentleman.
Yes, tell him where he come from if you want to go fortune telling.
Cheltenham, Harrow, Cambridge, and India.
Quite right.
Great laughter, reaction in the note taker's favor. Exclamations of he knows all about it. Told him proper, hear him tell the top where he come from, etc.
May I ask, sir, do you do this for your living at a music hall?
I've thought of that. Perhaps I shall someday.
The rain has stopped and the persons on the outside of the crowd begin to drop off. The flower girl resenting the reaction.
He is no gentleman. He ain't to interfere with the poor girl.
The daughter, out of patience, pushing her way rudely to the front and displacing the gentleman, who politely retires to the other side of the pillar.
What on earth is Freddie doing? I shall get pneumonia if I stay in this draught any longer.
The note taker to himself hastily making a note of her pronunciation of Monia.
Earl Scott.
The daughter violently.
Will you please keep your impertinent remarks to yourself?
Did I say out that loud? I didn't mean to. I beg your pardon, your mothers. Epsom unmistakably.
The mother advancing between her daughter and the note taker.
How very curious. I was brought up in large lady park near Epsom.
The note taker uproariously amused.
Haha, what a devil of a name. Excuse me.
The note taker to the daughter.
You want a cab, do you?
Don't dare speak to me.
Oh, please, Clara.
Her daughter repudiates her with an angry shrug and retires haughtily.
We should be so grateful to you, sir, if you found us a cab.
The note taker produces a whistle.
Oh, thank you.
The mother joins her daughter.
The note taker blows a perfect blast.
There, I knowed he was a plainclothes cobber.
That ain't a police whistle. That's a sporting whistle.
The flower girl is still preoccupied with her wounded feelings.
He is no right to take away my character. My character is the same to me as any lady's.
I don't know whether you had noticed it, but the rain stopped about 2 minutes ago.
So it has. Why didn't you say so before and us losing our time listening to your silliness?
The bystander walks off towards the strand.
I can't tell where you come from. You come from Anvil. Go back there.
The note taker helpfully.
Hanwell.
The sarcastic bystander affecting great distinction of speech.
Thank you, teacher. Ha ha. So long.
He touches his hat with mock respect and strolls off.
Frightening people like that? How would he like it himself?
It's quite fine now, Clara. We can walk to a motor bus. Come.
She gathers her skirts above her ankles and hurries off towards the strand.
But the cab, oh, how tiresome.
The daughter follows angrily. All the rest have gone except the note taker, the gentleman, and the flower girl, who sits arranging her basket and still pitying herself in murmurs.
Poor girl, hard enough for her to live without being worried and chivied.
Returning to his former place on the note taker's left.
How do you do it, if I may ask?
Simply phonetics, the science of speech. That's my profession, also my hobby. Happy is the man who can make a living by his hobby. You can spot an Irishman or a Yorkshireman by his brogue. I can place any man within 6 miles. I can place him within 2 miles in London, sometimes within 2 streets.
Ought to be ashamed of himself, unmanly coward.
But is there a living in that?
Oh, yes, quite a fat one. This is an age of upstarts. Men begin in the Kentish town with 80 pounds a year and end in the Park Lane with 100,000. They want to drop Kentish town, but they give themselves all away every time they open their mouths. Now I can teach them.
Let him mind his own business and leave a poor girl.
The note taker explosively.
Women, seize this detestable boohooing instantly, or else seek the shelter of some other place of worship.
The flower girl with feeble defiance.
I have a right to be here if I like, same as you.
A woman who utters such depressing and disgusting sound has no right to be anywhere, no right to live. Remember that you are a human being with a soul and the divine gift of articulate speech, that your native language is the language of Shakespeare and Milton and the Bible, and don't sit there crooning like the bilious pigeon.
The flower girl, quite overwhelmed and looking up at him in mingled wonder and deprecation without daring to raise her head.
Oh.
The note taker whipping out his book.
Heavens, what a sound!
He writes, then holds out the book and reads, reproducing her vowels exactly.
Ow!
The flower girl, tickled by the performance and laughing in spite of herself.
God.
You see this creature with her curbstone English, the English that will keep her in the gutter to the end of her days. Well, sir, in 3 months, I could pass that girl off as a Duchess at an ambassador's garden party. I could even get her a place as lady's maid or shop assistant, which requires better English. That's the sort of thing I do for the commercial millionaires, and on the profit of it, I do a genuine scientific work in the phonetics, and a little as a poet on the Miltonic lines.
I am myself a student of Indian dialects, and
The note taker eagerly.
Are you? Do you know Colonel Pickering, the author of the spoken Sanskrit?
I am Colonel Pickering. Who are you?
Henry Higgins, author of Higgins' Universal Alphabet.
Pickering with enthusiasm.
I came from India to meet you.
I was going to India to meet you.
Where do you live?
27A Wimpole Street. Come and see me tomorrow.
I'm at the Carlton. Come with me now and let's have a jaw over some supper.
Right you are.
The flower girl to Pickering as he passes her.
Buy a flower, kind gentleman. I'm short for my lodging.
I really haven't any change. I'm sorry.
Pickering goes away. Higgins, shocked at girl's mendacity.
Lawyer, you said you could change half a crown.
The flower girl rising in desperation.
You ought to be stuffed with nails. You ought.
Flinging the basket at his feet.
Take the old blooming basket for 6 pence.
The church clock strikes the second quarter. Hearing in it the voice of God rebuking him for his phrasiac want of charity to the poor girl.
A reminder.
He raises his hat solemnly, then throws a handful of money into the basket and follows Pickering. The flower girl picking up a half-crown.
Oh.
Picking up a couple of florins.
Oh.
Picking up several coins.
Oh.
Picking up a half-sovereign.
Oh.
Freddie is springing out of a taxi cab.
Got one at last. Hello.
To the girl.
Where are the two ladies that were here?
They walked to the bus when the rain stopped.
And left me with a cab on my hands?
The flower girl with grandeur.
Never you mind, young man. I'm going home in a taxi.
She sails off to the cab. The driver puts his hand behind him and holds the door firmly shut against her. Quite understanding his mistrust, she shows him her handful of money.
8 pence ain't no object to me, Charlie.
He grins and opens the door.
Angel Court, Drury Lane, round the corner of Michael John's oil shop. Let's see how fast you can make her off it.
She gets in and pulls the door to with She gets in and pulls the door to with a slam as the taxicab starts.
Well, I'm dashed.
That's the end of Act 1 of Pygmalion, written by George Bernard Shaw. Thank you once again for being with us. Next Sunday, we'll bring to you Act 2 of the same play. Make sure to join us, and if any one of you is willing to be a part of Test Reading Club, please leave a comment below, and we'll be very happy to share a link with you. And you may also read with us the next time. Also, remember to check out our previous videos. Thank you once again. Bye bye, everyone.